Hi everybody, welcome. Welcome to this shorter yin practice today. So I thought we would do a 20-minute yin practice for hips and hamstrings. So we're just going to do a few shapes, let the body settle into them in a way that helps to open up. This might be particularly good for you if you have had a big adventure. Maybe you've been riding or hiking or running. This could be a really nice practice for you to do. It's also just great to open up through the hips. Great one to do in the evening. So let's get settled. We're just going to start in today on the back, so you can have your bolster or a cushion. You might also like to have a strap for the practice today as well. So if you don't have a strap, using a belt or anything like that is also fine. I'm going to start with the legs just over the bolster, lying back, so that we can just do a little bit of breath and start to help all the tissues of the body to soften. So let yourself relax here as best you can, allowing your legs to soften, your head to rest on the ground. Maybe your hands can just rest over your belly and just at the sides, so across the fronts of your hips. So having your legs over a bolster, or if you don't have one, having your feet flat to the floor and knees knocked in towards each other in constructive rest is a really nice way to start this, just to allow the hips to soften as much as we can. As you feel your body on the ground, let's take a moment to acknowledge the country that you practice on today. Wherever you are, honouring the first peoples of that land or your ancestors. And acknowledging their unbroken connection to this country. Perhaps you might like to set yourself an intention today. And we're just going to start with a breath practice, a nice simple breath practice of box breathing. And when we do these really simple and hopefully calming breath, pranayama, we're just helping the body settle and prepare to be in these yin shapes. So a nice relaxed state. So I'll guide you through this box breathing. We're going to be inhaling for 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding for 4. So let's just take an emptying out breath first. Inhale fully through your nose. And as you exhale, let it out with a nice long sigh. And then inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Couple more. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. And then just let your breath now start to settle into its own rhythm. And hopefully that pranayama practice is a little resonance of that still in the breath. Not overthinking that or pushing it, but just noticing whether you can still find that expansiveness even as you let go of that box container. Just allow your breath to stay in that nice steady rhythm as best you can as we start to move. And you can bring your knees in towards you. We're going to have that strap or that belt handy. As you bring your knees in towards your chest, just give them a nice big squeeze in towards you. Maybe a little rock and roll from side to side. And then let's keep that right knee drawn in and extend your left leg away from you. So you can either have the foot flat to the floor or you can extend the leg all the way, drawing the heel away from you. Just take a moment, maybe even moving your right knee around to the side or taking it in a circle, just feeling into that compression at the front of your right hip, noticing what's going on there, making sure there's no pain in your body. A little bit of mobilizing through that right hip. And then let's from here start to extend the right leg. So you might now just grab your prop, your strap of your belt, and place it over the ball of your right foot. So you might have your leg further down. You might bend your knee a little bit if you need to take any stress out of your back of your hamstring. And then start to draw your leg towards you. And you can just hold onto the strap. Keep the back of your chest on the floor, keep the back of your head on the floor, and just gently drawing the leg towards you, not forcing, but just allowing gravity to do its work. Because we're doing more of a yin-inspired practice today, see if you can allow yourself to settle into this shape. We're going to stay here for maybe another 10 or so breaths. And allowing time, allowing that calmness of your breath to help those tissues to unravel and soften. Notice as you take each breath how the body might respond to that. And then you can from here start to really gently take your leg out to the right side. So staying with that right leg, holding onto the strap and just encouraging the leg out to the side. You want to keep your left hip grounded. So just notice if you're starting to roll over to the side and keep your hand, maybe your left hand on top of your left hip to keep the back of the sacrum on the ground. You might feel better bending your knee here and just taking the leg out to the side that way. Breathe deep down into the belly, and then breathing out. And then bring your body back to your leg back to center. The leg extended, just angle your toes towards your left shoulder. And then from there, it's this really gentle movement of the leg over to the side. And so sometimes the more subtle you make this, the better the stretch you can get along that ITB. So if you're a runner or a rider, you might find that this is quite strong. And if you feel that you want to take the leg even more over and take it into more of a twist, you're welcome to do that. You might like to stay, particularly if it feels like you need that stretch, you might like to stay just with that subtle ITB stretch. Slowly with your breath and with your hands supporting you, bring your leg back to center, and then you can release your strap and just bring that right knee in towards the chest again. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, release your right leg down to the ground. And just notice how one leg feels compared to the other here. You might feel a sense of pulsing or tingling along that right side, the energy moving. And let's move to the other side. So drawing your left knee in towards you, perhaps the right foot's on the floor, extend that leg. And just for a moment, just move your knee from side to side or around in some circles so that you can bring a little bit of mobility into that left hip. Just noticing what you feel here. And then as you're ready to start to extend your left foot up towards the sky, take your strap over your foot and start to draw that leg gently towards you. Breathing in, breathing out, letting your awareness settle into this shape. We add in these props and these long-held shapes, giving you more time to really turn into what you feel. And then as you like, you can start to draw your left leg out to the left side, holding onto the strap. Or maybe you bend your left knee for this side. We want to keep the whole of the back of your pelvis on the ground. So even if you need to take that right hand and really weight the right side of your pelvis down so that you're taking this stretch into the inner thigh, as opposed to just allowing your leg to come to the floor, but tilting, which is not going to give you as much of a stretch. So really feeling into the shape and the effects that it has on the inside. And then let's bring the leg back to center. And then angling your left toes towards your right shoulder, just gently starting to draw the leg across your body as far as you like. And you might kind of feel into whether you want that leg to be lower down towards the ground or up more towards the sky. Remembering this is your practice, so you can start to let these shapes meet you where you are. Maybe the leg comes over, if you have the space, over towards your side. You can bend the knee if you need to. And then bringing your leg back to center. Let's release the strap. Bring that left knee in towards your chest again, big squeeze. And then extend both legs out long. And stretch out all the way from your toes to your fingertips. And just start to walk your legs over towards the left side and your hands in the same direction so that you create a little banana stretch along your body. Your left hand might come on top of your right hand. Maybe your right hand on top of left hand or right leg on top of left leg. Creating that length all the way along the right side of your body. Breathing in. And breathing out. And then walking your legs and your arms all the way back to center, stretching out from fingertips to toes. And then walking the legs in the opposite direction, so walking your feet over towards the right, and then shuffling your shoulders and your arms over towards the right, maybe left hand on top of right, left leg on top of right leg. Just crossed over the ankles maybe. And again, just a choice you can make if you're feeling like you want to extend more into this stretch. And then walking the feet and your hands back to center. And just bend your knees up, slowly roll yourself over to one side and bring yourself up into a seated position. We're going to come into a butterfly here. So if actually your lower back is just really not feeling great today, you're welcome to stay on your back and just bring the feet together and knees wide in a reclined butterfly. Otherwise, you may like to sit up onto something. So I've got a folded blanket, but you could use a block or a bolster here. And taking the feet together and the heels as close towards your buttocks as you like. It can be nice to have a little bit of space, particularly if your hips are tight. And then you can just bring your hands down and you might stay here. This might be enough for you. Otherwise, taking a breath in and a breath out and starting to fold forwards. And if you've got cushions or blocks around and you need to, you can always use them underneath your knees to support your legs, particularly if you've got any knee injuries. Letting your body fold forwards if you're coming forwards. And again, really settling your attention into those spaces around the hips, the pelvis, the inner thighs. And sending your breath deep into those spots. Using the breath here to help you to soften those tissues as much as you can, where it feels safe to. And we'll be here for about a minute, so just seeing if you can settle into this shape. Each breath out, seeing if you can let tension from your tissues release into the ground. Maybe that's just from the tops of the shoulders and the jaw. Noticing how the sensation might shift and change as you stay here for a little longer if you can. And then next inhale, start to walk your hands towards you. Slowly roll the spine up, letting the head come up last. And then use your hands to bring your knees together and then slide your legs out in front of you. So just letting the heels extend away from you a little bit, perhaps resting back onto your hands and letting the legs just relax here. Long breath in. Long breath out. And then coming back to sit all the way up. We'll just take the left leg in front of your right leg as you come into a cross position. And you might prefer to have the leg on top, so you might stack your knee over your ankle and ankle on top of knee. For some of you might like to try this but have a block between your knee and your foot if your hips are a little tight. Mine can be tight. And then if you want to, coming forwards into a forward fold here. So cross a little square shape with the legs and then hands walking forwards. And again, you can come forwards as much or as little as you like, depending on the sensation in your body. If your lower back is tight, it might be better to keep the spine more length in the spine. If you feel safe to do so, you can allow your body to fold forwards, bringing the hands in front of you, maybe even the forearms. And then notice if you start to hold your breath or you start to tense in areas that don't need to be tense. Allow the smooth in-breath, the smooth out-breath to create a softness as best you can. About 3 more breaths here. Walking your hands back up towards you. Again, just resting your hands back behind you perhaps, or use your hands to help you release your legs from each other. Stretch both legs out, extending the heels away from you. Little wiggle of the hips if you need to. And then we're going to swap over to the other side. So crossing your right leg in front of your left leg this time, or swapping over. It doesn't matter which one you do, as long as you swap over. So opposite leg in front or on top. And taking the hands in front of you, perhaps inhaling there. And exhaling to come forwards. You might find that this side feels really different to the other side, and that's totally okay. Let yourself settle with each breath. Staying here for about another 5 or 10 breaths. Seeing if in those areas that you feel sensation, you can consciously allow them to unravel just as much as you can. About 2 more inhales and exhales here. And lifting yourself up using your hands. Let your hands rest back behind you, or use your hands to unravel your legs. Take them out in front of you. Give them a little shake if you like. And let's come back down onto our backs again. So you can use a block if you've got one, or you might use your pillow or cushion or bolster. Just coming all the way down onto your back. And we're going to come into a supported bridge here to really allow the hips to soften and lengthen. So pressing into your feet, lift your hips up, and you can slide your block or your cushion underneath your sacrum, whatever height you like. Just making sure that it is that nice flat bony part that's resting on the prop and not the tailbone or the vertebra. And letting your feet just be flat onto the ground for now. Maybe your arms want to come out to the sides or lift up above your head, allowing the back of your ribs to melt onto the ground. Take an inhale and an exhale here. If you feel to, you can start to just shuffle your feet forwards nice and slowly. It might just be a little way, or you might be able to extend your legs all the way forwards towards your heels. Just making sure that you're not crunching through your lower back as you do that, that you're still finding space and softness in the body. And again, we'll stay here for about 10 breaths. See if you can make them nice and long and smooth. can hold a lot of tension through our hips, which then affects our posture, our breath, our lower back. So seeing if you can really bring space and expansiveness into these areas, allowing those tissues to find a free flow of energy rather than that stuckness that can happen. Letting fresh blood enter into those areas that might feel a little congested. And as you're ready to, you can walk your feet back in towards you if they're not there already. Arms coming back down beside you and pressing into your feet to gently lift your hips up. And then rolling your spine down to the ground, nice and slowly, keeping the tailbone lengthening towards your heels so that you really can feel each vertebra as they land down onto the ground. And then from there, you can just let your feet go wide, let your knees knock in towards each other, constructive rest. Taking a breath in and a breath out. And then draw your knees up in towards your chest. Just take a really gentle twist here, arms out to the sides, let your knees come across your body to your left side. Perhaps your head turns to your right. Big breath in and big breath out. And then inhaling the knees back to center. As you exhale, take your knees over to the right. Your head can turn to your left. Big breath in. And out. And then draw your knees all the way back to center. Wrap your arms around your knees. Give yourself a big hug, even drawing your chin towards your chest, nose towards your knees. Little rock from side to side might feel nice. And then from there, you can extend your legs out long, come into Shavasana for a minute here. So just letting the legs come long, maybe taking them over your bolster again, arms down beside your body. Just allow your body to settle here and to really soak in all of the goodness of this little yin practice. Few more breaths. And then starting to wriggle your fingers and your toes, bend your knees up towards you. And slowly roll yourself over to your side and press yourself back up into a seat again. Maybe finding cross-legged seat, hands onto your lap or palms together in front of your heart. Just noticing how you feel here. Closing with a nice long Om together, breathing in. Drawing your thumbs to the space between your eyebrows, that connection with your deepest wisdom. Thumbs to your heart for your connection with all those around you. And bowing forwards to honour your connection to the earth. Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining me for this short yin practice today. I hope you found it useful. I hope your hips and your hammies are feeling a little bit more open, a little bit more free flow of energy, of prana. If you have any questions at all, please let me know, and hope you have a great week ahead. Thank you.